So Joseph was asking a question about how to go about setting these prints for face down printing. Now, Joseph is used to using Tinkercad, and it's really quite easy to set this up for face down printing. So I really recommend when we're first starting learning 3D printing that we really learn our slicer inside out and backwards, because so many times I see people trying to do things in other software programs that we could just do very, very easily right here inside our slicer. And I always think to myself, why are they doing that? Because they could just do it right there in their slicer. So in this example here, let's go ahead and select our assembly. And so now you can see here we have our whole assembly selected, but over here we're going to just click on the our logo object here. Let's go to scale, and I usually, when I'm face down printing, I usually set the thickness of my piece to 1 mil, the colored piece. All right, and then what we have to do is set the height of this. So our back plate here in this example is 6 mil. So, and then our logo is 1 mil. So when I go to the Z height, this Z height should not be 7. It should be 5.5. We take half the thickness of our logo, which in this case is 1, and deduct it from the thickness of our white, which in this case is 6. So 5.5. And now that's ready for face printing. So if I hit slice plate, you're going to see that now we get a nice logo, but it's completely flat. Do you see that? There's nothing raised there. So those are on the same plane. And that's why it kind of looks weird when you're looking at it like this. And of course, then to flip it over, we would just do the lay on face, click that, and now she's turned upside down. And when we slice our plate, you can see gets a perfect result face down printing, just like so. All right, let's go back to our prepare tab here, and let's come over here. So now we have this. All right, so what would we do here? Well, kind of the same thing. What I like to do is I like to select my assembly, and then I really like using my objects tab over here. So I take all of my gold parts. Okay, we are going to change that thickness to 1. Okay, now we cannot change all of our parts to Z. I mean, we can, right? We can come in here and we know that this is 50. So that should be 49 and a half. Okay, but all those pieces won't be at 49 and a half. You see that? And that's kind of a drag. It used to, I think it used to work that way, but not now. So anyhow, we got to put that back to 49 and a half. For that piece there for the arch, and this should be, let me double check, make sure, I'm pretty sure that should be at 49 and a half as well. One thing I do want to double check is that those are 1 mil, and it's not. So when we changed those all to 1 mil, they did not all go to 1 mil either. That's kind of annoying, but I mean, it's not a huge deal. But so the stomach is 1 mil. The text, that is not 1 mil, so we'll make it 1 mil, and then the side, it's good. All right, so now everything is 1 mil, so now everything can go to 49 and a half. Stomach is fine. We got to put that at 49 and a half. All right, so now we do have everything at 49 and a half. Everything is 1 mil thick. Let's go ahead and slice it. And there we go. Everything is sliced. I must have done something here. What did I do? All right, flipped it around. All right, so now we'll just grab this and do lay on face, and of course that face. And so now it's laying on the face, and if I reslice it again, you can see we get a nice perfect result, and everything's flat. I personally do like it raised up a little bit, so that's why I tend to do I don't do much face down printing, but if you want to, that's how you do it. And it's really simple to do here inside your slicer. So best to really learn your slicer inside and out, and then look towards some other type of software. But Inkscape, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. You watch some of my videos, you'll see is way, way less complicated, especially when working with fonts and just all kinds of things. Doing text on a circle, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It is very easy to accomplish in Inkscape, and it's much more cumbersome to work with Tinkercad in those various aspects. And also, with Inkscape, we can use multicolored SVGs directly, where you can't really do that in Tinkercad. You have to bring in each component separately. It's just a whole process. Now, there's certain things that Tinkercad can be useful for, um, special shapes and things, and screws and other things, yes. But your day-to-day bread and butter stuff like this, better to use Inkscape and your slicer, in my opinion. So there you go. That answers Joseph's question in a nutshell. So until next time, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need one-on-one training or some custom files made for you, this is my contact information, so feel free to reach out via email. You can text me. You could even give me a call. I'd be happy to answer questions or give you more details on the one-on-one training we offer, and as well as if you need custom files made until you are up to speed on how to make them yourself, feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to help you with that as well.